So if you've decided that you want to get more fit, more healthy, and you want to get more movement in your body, then you may have considered joining a gym or actually working out at home. And I want to give you some tips personally that I've used, as I was a gym novice at one point, like everyone was. So when I was a younger teenager, what happened was I wanted to get healthy and exercise and do more movement. And especially coming from an Indian culture, they say, oh, he's very healthy, but that actually means you're very fat and very big. So I was quite a big guy as a child. So what I did first of all was I was actually very scared of going to a gym or signing up to a gym. One, because it was quite expensive. Two, I wasn't sure if I was going to use it. And three, I was really quite unsure where to go, what to do. So what I did first of all was I was very lucky. I was still living with my parents. They happened to buy a treadmill just for the family. So I had access to a treadmill, or even going out on a bike ride or going out on the streets running. That was quite easy to do for cardio work. But also with lifting weights, I wasn't quite sure where to start off with. So what I did was, there's a store here in the UK called Argos. So I went there for £20, bought a whole bunch of weights from there, and I started off working out at home in my bedroom, just literally every single day, complete novice. Eventually, as I got more comfortable with it and the weights started getting heavier and heavier to the point where they were actually quite dangerously heavy to be exercising on my own, and I wasn't using a spotter or anyone else, then I thought actually maybe it's now worth considering joining a gym to prevent any injuries and actually take my health and fitness to another level. So when I joined the gym, my first objection, concerns and fears were that, oh, what if I'm not going to be like these buff dudes in there, or I'm not going to be trim and skinny, I'm going to be quite, unfit and unhealthy compared to them. But actually what's interesting is that no one actually cares when you go there. Everyone's pretty much in the same boat as everywhere else. So everyone's focused on their own workouts too. So one, if you're worried about how you look or how you feel, I just want you to not worry about that at all. We're all in the same boat, so don't worry about that. Also, make sure you join a gym that you really like. We did a lot of research before we joined the gym that I'm at now to make sure that I found the one that's comfortable for me and liked as well. Then what you want to do is make sure you have a really good induction, have the staff there show you the whole area, make sure you know everything, how it works, any machines, any exercise classes, and never be afraid to ask questions. You see, we don't know everything, and even now when sometimes they bring a new bit of kit, I always ask one of the instructors exactly how to use that kit and how I can get the best out of it to add it into my routines as well. So definitely don't be afraid of asking any questions. That's really important. Also, be mindful that there are some people in the gym who are wishing well and mean well. However, they don't always do the right thing. So be mindful of copying someone who might not be doing it the right way. Get professional advice, and that's going to be the best thing. Now, especially for some reason, there tends to be this stigma around in culturally that women tend not to like the weights area, although that's nice to see that's changing. And then really weightlifting and cardio exercises combined is great for general fitness and health. So you want to incorporate both types of activity. As a functional chiropractor and osteopath, so I think about the body in a realistic way, I really believe that we should be training our bodies with weights in the gym to practice and rehearse for real life activities. So that means that you're going to use free weights like dumbbells or barbells. And I'm a massive fan of dumbbells. In fact, I hardly ever use any barbells anymore. The long ones. I only use the dumbbells, the short ones now. And so what I would recommend is once you get comfortable with some movements, is start thinking about, once you've got a light load and you gradually build them up, start thinking about having different weights in each hand. So you've got one heavier one and one slightly lighter one. Because you see, in real life, what happens, let's say, for example, you're going on holiday and you want to put some luggage in the overhead cabin, even that bag is not going to have the contents in there equally distributed. So one side might be a little bit heavier than the other side. Your body has to be trained to be able to put that inside safely without injuring yourself. Or even if you were to pick up some shopping or some bags, same thing. We never have two items in real life the same weight. If we train for that movement pattern in our gym activities, then it means that you can go and take that out into the real world and prevent injury and actually do those things well too. The other thing I like with weights is what you want to do is if you're doing a push movement in that kind of plane, you want to try and do an equal and opposite pull movement with the same sort of weight and strength so you can have an equal balance in your posture too. And also what I would suggest is when you're lifting weights, I see it so many times and I have to kind of bite my lip to make sure I'm not interfering with people's workouts, because I don't want to be the guy who's always going to tell everyone what to do, and I probably wouldn't get time to do my own workout if I did see that. But what happens is, and this is why I want to share this here, is when you lift a weight, when you're doing weights, you've got to think about controlling the movement and really concentrate on building that muscle. So for example, I'm giving you an example of bicep curls here. So if you're lifting that, you want to contract it at about 2 seconds. Take you about 2 seconds to contract and not swing it. Really have good strong form. Okay, and the 2 seconds mean you're activating the fast twitch fibers. And we've got two types of fibers, fast and slow twitch. So once you've activated fast twitch, then you're going to hold it there for 2 seconds. So you're pausing to make sure you've got good control, and then lower it for 4 seconds. And that means you can also work on the slow twitch fibers too. That's true for any exercise where you're pushing. You're going to push for 2 seconds and then hold for 2 seconds and slowly lower for another 4 seconds. Doing that is going to really give you well developed muscles overall, in terms of not like buff ones necessarily, unless that's what you're striving for. There are ways you can do that, but really it gives you the right tone and right strength. And also you're not kind of repeatedly working really hard and working those tendons or overworking them and risking creating some tendonitis or any injury there as well. Faster, more gentle strength exercises is when you can apply the cardio. So for example, the rowing machine and the rowing cable, so they're two different exercises. See, when you got the cable row with the weights on there, that's heavy, slow movements. Whereas the rowing machine is going to be faster repetitions because it's a lighter load and it's still more your cardiovascular exercise too. So think about using that as an example. Other things is like treadmills. So if you're going to be doing cardio on treadmill, make sure that you have at least a slight incline, because these machines were originally designed for rehab. Now, most people don't tend to have an injury, so you want to be using it so they're actually getting the benefit for fitness from there. Having on a slight incline just gives you a little bit of resistance, because you don't get that wind resistance by using the treadmill as opposed to when you're running outside. So that'll be useful for you that way. But also be mindful about running softly. See, if you're running quite hard and pounding the ground or pounding the treadmill really hard, that kinetic, that movement energy converts into sound energy. So you lose that energy completely. Whereas if you soften it, then it stays as kinetic energy within your body and you become much more of an efficient runner rather than impacting those joints as well. So I hope these tips were useful for you. Also, I want to make sure that you end every workout with at least 10 to 15 minutes of stretching, especially the areas that you've worked. So hold each stretch, whichever stretch you do, for at least 30 seconds. You do literally, I time it myself. When I do my stretches, 30 seconds, and you do each muscle 3 times. That gives the muscle enough chance to really relax and also re-engage the nervous system about knowing where those muscles now are. Therefore, then they can help with regards to your flexibility from your stretching and your strength from your exercising as well. Also, make sure you definitely keep hydrated. You want to be drinking at least 1.5 to 2 liters of water throughout the day anyway, maybe a little bit more if you've been exercising and been sweating a little bit more too. So if you do find this useful, please do let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and I wish you well in your exercise and nutrition and fitness goals. Thanks for watching.